Hi, in this video we'll learn how to divide complex numbers. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to get rid of the I from the denominator. Now the question is, why do we need to get rid of I from the denominator? So we know that I is an imaginary number, right? I is equal to square root of -1. So there's no point of dividing any number by I because I is an imaginary number. So that's why we need to get rid of the I from the denominator. To do that, we'll have to multiply the denominator by the complex conjugate. Now, what do you mean by complex conjugate? A complex conjugate is formed by changing the sign between the two terms in the complex number. So we have 3 minus 5i, so the complex conjugate of 3 minus 5i will be 3 plus 5i. Notice that what I did is I changed the sign between the two terms in the complex number. So the real part is the same in each complex number, but the imaginary part have the opposite signs. So we're going to multiply our denominator by the conjugate of 3 minus 5i, and we know that the conjugate of 3 minus 5i is 3 plus 5i. So I'm going to multiply my denominator by 3 plus 5i, and when I multiply my denominator, I would also have to multiply my numerator by 3 plus 5i to balance my fraction. Now all I need to do is to multiply the binomials. I have to multiply 4 plus 8i by 3 plus 5i and 3 minus 5i with 3 plus 5i. And we're going to use the FOIL method to multiply the binomials. So first of all, I'm going to multiply 4 with 3, and then I'm going to multiply 4 with 5i. So 4 times 3 gives me 12, and then 4 times positive 5i will give me positive 20i. So I'm done multiplying 4 with the binomial. Now I'm going to multiply positive 8i with the binomial. So positive 8i times 3 will be equal to 24i, and positive 8i times positive 5i will be equal to positive 40i squared. Now let's multiply the denominator. So first of all, we're going to multiply 3 with 3, and then we're going to multiply 3 with positive 5i. So 3 times 3 gives me 9. 3 times positive 5i will give me positive 15i. So I'm done multiplying 3 with my binomial. Now I'm going to multiply negative 5i with my binomial. So negative 5i times 3 will give me negative 15i. And negative 5i times positive 5i will give me negative 25i squared. Notice that my middle terms cancel out each other. 15i minus 15i will be equal to 0. Now all we need to do is to simplify this as much as possible. So first of all, we're going to write 12 here, then 20i and 24i. These are the like terms, so we can combine them. 20i plus 24i will give me 44i. And then I have plus 40i squared divided by 9 minus 25i squared. Now we know that I is equal to square root of -1. If I square both the sides, then this gives me I squared is equal to, well, the square and the square root is going to cancel out each other. We are only left with -1. So I can say that the value of I squared is equal to -1. Now I'm going to plug in the value of I squared in this expression. So this will be 12 plus 44i plus 40, and then in place of I squared, I'm going to plug in -1, and I'll put that around the parentheses, and then we have 9 minus 25 in place of I squared. Again, I'll plug in -1 here. So now let's simplify this. This will be equal to 12 plus 44i, and then positive 40 times -1 will be equal to negative 40 divided by 9. Negative 25 times -1 will be equal to positive 25. And we have 12 and negative 40. Well, these are the like terms. We can combine those terms. 12 minus 40 will give me negative 28 And then we have plus 44i divided by 9 plus 25 will give me 34. Now notice that we don't have any I term in the denominator. That's why we multiply by the conjugate. Because when we multiply the complex number by its conjugate, then it produces a value which is real. Now since we need the answer in the form of a plus bi, a plus minus bi is the general form of the complex number where a is the real part and bi is the imaginary part, and I need to write my final answer in the form of a plus or minus bi. So we're going to separate these terms. This will be negative 28 over 34 plus 44i over 34. And now we can simplify this fraction by dividing the numerator and denominator by 2. So this will give me negative 14 over 17 plus, and I can also simplify this fraction by dividing the top and bottom by 2. So this will give me 22i over 17. And notice that this is also in the form of a plus bi, where this is the real part and this is the imaginary part. That's all in this video. Thank you so much for watching. If you are new to this channel and want to see more videos on other math topics, be sure to subscribe down below and share it with your friends. See you in the next video.